I think we've all probably done it in the past, made a decision in a video game and then regretted it. I'm sure as I say this, you can think of some very specific examples where it's happened to you, and if so, how long after the decision did the regret actually hit? Was it something instant, the second you pressed the button, or did it creep up on you an hour later, 10 hours later, or was it much later when there was nothing left to do about it? Now, I've been thinking about this for a while because it's a very important part of game design. The whole idea of making a choice and then finding out the consequences. So we've got 5 games here today, and all of them fit firmly into that idea. They're all about making a decision and then ultimately you having to live with it. The difference is that with some of them you're around and you find out almost instantly. Whilst in others it might take an hour or even a lifetime before you see the ultimate impact. We're going to talk about a variety of different games then. Warshift 2, which is visually spectacular. You've seen a lot of footage in the intro. We're going to come to that later in the video. We got Antimatter, Ostranauts, Quasimorph, as well as ridiculous space battles. And that is exactly the one we're going to start with because it's pretty extreme. So imagine a game where you make every single decision in advance. You design the ships, you fit every weapon, every shield, you set the orders, you arrange the formations, you plan the entire engagement. And then you just press go. And at this point your hands come off the controls, all totally, completely, effectively your hands are tied. And this is where the title of the game comes into immediate effect, and it's with good reason. The game is called Ridiculous Space Battles. And if the idea sounds familiar, it should. It's a new game from Cliff Harris, a man who made gratuitous space battles back in 2009. And this was effectively a time long before auto battlers become a big mainstream thing. 15 years later, he's back and he's at it again. And as you can see here, the results on screen are pretty spectacular. We've got absolutely enormous 2D naval battles set in space. Hundreds of ships then, beams crackling everywhere, waving across the screen, explosions stacked on explosion, and all you can do is watch whilst your plan that you committed to starts to unfold. Is it going to succeed or is it going to die? There then is the consequences of your actions, and are you going to regret them? That's the question that's probably sitting in your mind throughout most of the playthrough there. The next game takes us in a very different direction indeed. So instead of one giant decision all made in advance, what happens here is a game that's built up of thousands of tiny decisions, and each of them is permanent. The game is called Quasimorph. It's a grim pixel art turn-based RPG with spaceships as well, about corporate space at its absolute worst. So here, the solar system has been privatized, and you run a smaller private military company from your own ship. You take contracts from the very corporations that are carving everything up. So that means that you outfit a mercenary, you take on armor, guns, meds, every slot has a choice, and you drop them into hostile stations, as well as of course labs and freighters. So down there it's all claustrophobic, there's a grid-based crawl through dark corridors, and you're fighting corporate security and much worse as well. The dev has said that the game does have quite a bit of horror on it, and the more you push into the game, the more wrong everything starts feeling. Ultimately, your goal is to extract alive and keep everything that you carried out with you, but die down there and you lose everything that you carried in. Like I say, the game is turn-based, but that means you have absolutely all the time you'd need to think through your actions before you commit to them. Personally, I really like the style of this game, and I've just actually purchased it. I picked this one up, and I'm going to be playing it very soon, so hopefully we have a full video on this one very soon. Now we come to Ostranauts, and this is another game that fits very firmly into this whole theme of consequences and decisions. So this is a hardcore noir top-down space sim, all about being a shipbreaker at the bottom of a solar economy. The game opens up with a character creation screen. All of this includes things like your history, your skills, your debts, and then drops you into a crappy little ship, a battered salvage tug. And for all of this, you're nearly $1 million in debt at this particular point, and you're parked over a boneyard of derelict ships. Your goal is to fly out and cut your way into dead vessels, pry out reactors and pumps and panels all by hand, and then drag them through the vacuum and haul them all the way home. And all the while, you've got to manage your air, your fuel, your food, even your crew's moods as well along the way. You then sell off the salvage and pay down your debts, or perhaps alternatively you can bolt on some of this salvage to your own ship, which allows you to rebuild it tile by tile into something much better. So this game, of course, has been around for quite a long time at this point. It released into early access all the way back in 2020. The reason I mention it today is that on the 3rd of August 2026, which is today, the game finally leaves early access and gets its first full release. A great time then to jump in and check it out. Next up, we've got Antimatter. So this is a sandbox game. It's basically one developer here simulating an entire galaxy. There's thousands of star systems, dozens of factions, civilizations generated with billions of years of history behind them. There's also a load of NPC characters all living out their independent lives, whether you ever meet them or not. And then you're dropped into all of this as a player, and you've got just your one ship, and you can fly, you can trade, you can mine, you take missions, you can land on any planet or asteroid, and you can even found a colony on the surface or dig down into the underground and grow that into a city. The goal is that you'll even be able to terraform a world by changing its atmosphere, and if you're so inclined, you'll be able to climb the political ladder of the entire interstellar organization. What I really like about the concept of this game is that whatever you choose, you're never really actually executing it. What you're doing instead is nudging the living world, and then that game will respond to you over time. What you'll see is the economy, the factions, the decades all telling you what your nudge actually did. Did the trade route that you established reshape a region? Did the colony that you founded become someone's home or someone's target that they just want to destroy? Really, it's the ultimate form of the theme that's running through this video, the decisions you make and the consequences they have. Whilst in the early games here, those consequences were pretty much immediate, here they're very much long term. Now, to be perfectly clear, this game is not released yet, it's still in development and has been so since a 2020 Kickstarter. There's some very nice footage though that's made a recent appearance on YouTube, hence me talking about it today. I will link that YouTube video down below so you can watch that if you want, but there has been some footage on it on the screen right here. Now all of this brings me back to where this video started with that absolutely spectacular footage. A lot of action going on there and a very nice looking game. I wanted to bring it here because it's quite a contrast to everything I've discussed so far. Because this is an RTS game, as well as a third-person action game, as well as a game that has RPG progression, all of this in one game. So this is very much about moment-to-moment gameplay, all those decisions that you make throughout an entire play session and how they accumulate and if you actually achieve your goal based upon them. So here, humanity is fighting an aggressive biochemical or biomechanical rather civilization that wants to consume all life, and frontier planets have become some very dangerous battlegrounds. Now, throughout the game, you'll see cyborgs and war machines and bioengineered beasts. Some of it you'll see from above, where you can actually play like a real-time strategy game. You build your base, you raise an army, you command aircraft and aircraft carriers and flying battleships, and then, at any moment, you can drop down into the battle in third person. And you can do this as your own customizable hero with weapons and upgrades and super abilities and all that lovely stuff, and you fight inside the plan you just made from the RTS viewpoint. And whilst this isn't set in space, there are a lot of vehicles here that look very heavily influenced by spaceships, as you can see right here. So Warshift 2, it's a game and it launched very recently, and yeah, you can find all of the links to these games in the video description below. If any of them interest you, they're probably worth taking a look at. So there we have it. Thanks for watching this video all the way through. Do take care, and I'll catch you next time.